What's up, YouTube family and Browns fans everywhere? This is Cleveland football, and I'm your host, Terrence Hudson. All right. Feels good to be back once again. We got some news this week to catch up on. Hey, we're still quarantining. As you can see, I got my quarantine beard going. I think this is probably the most facial hair that I've ever had, in my life. So, hey, I said I'm going to stick with it, see what it looks like, Maybe do it a couple more months until I could get with a barber, but who knows? I might even keep it some more, line it up, give me a taper. Hey, man, I might be in there, Might be in there again. But, hey, it's growing out right now. But I got to impress. I'm already married, and my wife don't care, and, so, hey, let's get with it. Uniforms drop. And, I did a video on this over a year ago, and the title was Nothing Fancy. So, it really wasn't, just kind of went back to the old, and which I liked, which I wanted them to do. And it's just like, hey, we just going back. So I don't even know if it should have been a big press release or, it was some small subtle changes. Thought I saw a little bit of the rounding in some of the numbers. The number 2 looked kind of different than in previous jerseys. This one here, this is before they made the change. This is authentic before they made the change. Only difference between this one, it is a custom. I got a custom nameplate on the back. Shout out to my brother Eric. My brother E hooked me up with the custom nameplate. We won't hold it against him that he is a Ravens fan. All right, go astray sometimes. It happens. So I look forward to whooping on him in the AFC North this year. But yeah, shout out to E, man. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. He's a first responder, police officer. So shout out to him and his colleagues and all those on the front lines. All right. So yeah, it wasn't a lot. We kept the deeper orange, which I liked. The color rush looked like, those was a hit last year. We're going to keep those, but no stripe on the side of the pants. I actually liked the stripe on the side of the pants. Some of the pants, I think, don't have the stripe either. And the new layout, no, they got the stripe in the new layout. Yeah. Brown pants. I like our all white. I like the tradition, the all white and the brown jerseys with the white pants. Looks like we're going to be wearing brown pants some. But hey, let's play around with it, But definitely let's be in that all white. And let's be in those brown tops with the white pants. I was looking back at some of the old jerseys over the years. At some point in the 90s, we actually had numbers on the sides. On the sides here. So, we switch it up some, but I like it. We're going back to the traditional. I even got another Browns jersey I've had for a really long time, since like 2002. This was the old school, number 2. That was my high school number, man, my favorite number in high school. So I had to get the Tim Couch. I wanted to get, custom nameplate on the back, maybe change or switch that up, but this is the number 2. Old school, and it was with Reebok, and that's when we was wearing big jerseys, those early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, everything was big and baggy, and now it's more of a tighter fit. The good thing about the bigger ones, though, you could wear stuff up under it, like if you wanted to wear a hoodie or even a jacket, that's how big the jerseys, we used to wear them back then. Now everything is more tight and slim and form-fitting. You wear a jersey almost like a t-shirt now. But back then, that mug was big. You almost looked like you had on a nightgown. You see some of those old, throwback jerseys and the looks from the late 90s and early 2000s. So, I'm glad we're at where we're at, what we went back to. But, hey, it's time to ball. And let's say, shout out to the Browns to donating 100% of proceeds for the new jerseys, to the Hats Off of Heroes Fund. And, that's taking care of our first responders, nurses, police officers, everybody that's on the front lines of this pandemic fight. So, shout out to the Browns for that. But yeah, that's the new jerseys, man. Really, what more can we say? Nothing fancy, and let's get back to it. I did talk about the long sleeve though, wanting to see those come back, maybe for one game in the winter or something. Where you take it back to the Jim Brown days, the Otto Graham, Marion Motley, like the long sleeve, black high tops. But I guess that ain't, from the research, that I was doing, you have to submit a jersey change 2 years ahead of time. And then you go through meetings with, right now with, with Nike and looking at layouts and looking at designs and pitching it to the NFL. You have to do that 2 years prior. So does it seem like, it takes a while for these things to come through and to be officially changed. But I'm glad we're going back. This is one of the iconic and storied, football clubs that you don't supposed to change. Some people just can't change. The Colts can't change. The Packers. Could you imagine the Packers changing? The Packers don't change. The Raiders don't change. Like some teams are just meant you keep it the traditional. Like when you go and you look at it and you change it, it's almost like you're trying to find an identity and you just don't really know what you want to do. But for some, football teams, you have to keep it. You have to keep it. And the Browns is one of those teams. Like, maybe play with the, the sleeves or something like that. But for the overall look, like, you can't go to no faded or shaded numbers. Maybe, I don't know what we were thinking. And letters down the side of the pants. Whoever thought of that, he should have been fired on the spot. So, hey, that's where we at with our new jerseys. Trade rumors, OBJ trade rumor. Saw the Vikings, I saw the 49ers. I saw Paul DePodesta and Andrew Berry had to come out and say they're not looking at trading OBJ. I guess they have to say that whether they're looking to trade him or not. There were reports. So Cowherd had a report and a couple other people that it was like, yeah, they're in talks to do it, and OBJ is with it. I'm paraphrasing that he's looking for an out. You hear reports last year that he was telling other teams to come get him. So hey, it wouldn't be a surprise if that did happen. It'll free up some cap space, but I think, he could be a vital part of the team. Like, the guy's dangerous and he's a weapon. But will we be able to use him? Will he fit in? Will the chemistry be there? It's tough enough that the guys can't get together this offseason. I know I harped on that in plenty of videos, that these guys need to come together this offseason and just be together. But, hey, you can't get together right now. So you're hoping they're taking mental reps and keeping their body in shape as much as they can, man. I hope they're working out, I really do. I hope they're just sitting at home, but take advantage of this time. If you have to go out in your backyard, run some drills and run around the neighborhood or go for, bike rides, something. Because, you can't get into the facility or into the gym. But if you just stay at home, man, it's going to show. It's going to show. These guys come in out of shape. You go tell who was home eating cookies, sandwiches, and hamburgers all day. You really will. And, that's where that's at. So for right now, you got to take DePodesta and Berry at their word until you see otherwise. And if they do actually trade him, you'll say, hey, y'all was lying. Y'all was looking to trade him. Oh, well, we just decided at this point just now, but back then, no, y'all was looking to do that. All right, let's talk about this real quick. Crowdless games. I hope it don't get to that point, that hopefully this pandemic will pass by the fall, and we'll be able to have a football season with full crowd and just things kind of get back to some normalcy. Not saying that things will be totally back to the way there was again, but have crowds at the games. Because I just don't know about a crowdless football game. Is there a home field advantage when there is no crowd? Is there? I mean, some guys get charged up by the crowd. Some guys get amped up by the crowd. Man, I remember Dion come out to return a punt. He would be putting on the show before he already dancing, knowing he about to take it back. Like that, just like you just feed off that. Like I don't know if you ever played football, if you played football before or whatever sport you play, and you just make a big play and you feel that crowd just like you just get charged up like a big hit, or if you ever ran back a punt or a kickoff or just made a big play or a game-winning play, and you just feel that energy from the crowd. Like, will guys get that in a crowdless game? Like who would do a Lambeau leap? Could you do a Lambeau leap with no crowd? You just hop into the stand. Who would Cam Newton get a ball to? You need to get a ball to a little kid. Who would he get a ball to? You go into the end zone. Like, I just don't know. It would kind of remind me of if you watch some of the spring games. I mean, some of these spring games will sell out or almost sell out, but then some like you almost watching a practice, or when you watch the practice for the Senior Bowl, and it's like not a lot of crowd there. Just pretty much like coaches and media, like you will hear everything. That's the thing with the crowd. The crowd drown out a lot of noise that you will hear from players on the field, the trash talking. I mean, do you need the audibilizer? You can hear the quarterback. Back in the day, Peyton, the Omaha. Which think about that. Fun fact that I think he actually got the Omaha from his brother Eli. Omaha, go. And I think Eli actually got it from Brady. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to go back and look that up. But you'll be able to hear all that. And especially, on the sideline, some of the language, you imagine just hearing stuff get picked up, because every now and then you will hear something, you'll be like, oh, I heard that. You see a guy running to the sideline, all of a sudden you hear somebody say, get that mother lover. But, they say something, and it's like, whoa, I heard that. You will hear a lot because the crowd drown out the noise. But I just don't know how I feel about that. A game with no crowd. You know how you feel when if you ever played in a game and there was hardly nobody there. It's just like, man, like it's a low attendance, low crowd. So I think with that, the guys just gonna have to really be mentally tuned into the game and have that enthusiasm and pump each other up, whether it's a crowd there or not. But hopefully it don't get to that point, and we have a crowd at these games. It has happened before. It happened in baseball, 2015, the White Sox and the Orioles. This was after the death of Freddie Gray in Baltimore. If you're not familiar, you need to go look that up. We saw rise, civil unrest after that, after the death of Freddie Gray, who died in police custody. And after, it felt like it wasn't safe to have people at the Orioles game at that time. A lot of people wanted them to cancel or postpone that series, but they wanted to play anyway. And these guys played a full baseball game without a crowd. And the White Sox ended up winning 8-2. And some of the White Sox didn't mind because, you get heckled by fans. You just away game. You just go and it's just like you're playing the game and then you win. So, but hopefully we don't get to that. All right, but hey, new uniforms. I like them. I'm with it. We can go with that. And look forward to talking about the draft. I'm still thinking about going live. I just have to figure out, how I can set that up. And I want to bring some folks in, man. I got some good guys that can talk some football. I think you might enjoy it. And then we can go with that. So hey, if you like, hit the like button. Be sure to share. Be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe.